What's up, guys? John here. Titan Talk Tuesday. We're in full effect. Back in the studio, back in the saddle, rocking it. I'm loving it. I'm love being back. Thank God. Everybody, I'm healthy. Sharice is getting healthier day by day, feeling better day by day. So thank you guys for all of you that reached out, all of you that have commented, all of you have said something, positive for Sharice. I appreciate that in our family, the prayers. Everybody, it's just it's a lot to take on because, man, I'll tell you what, man, it shows a lot of people out there showing love, and showing concern, which is crazy, because we're working so much, sometimes you don't think about all these things, and you really, you're more grateful and more humble than ever. I am. What up, Big Drew? We ready to go, man. We got a good show today, and if you guys tune in Fridays 2 p.m., you'll be with me and Big Drew on Titan Lifestyle. But we got a heck of a show for you guys laid out. I mean, I've got all the things from our therapy of the week, Titan Ultra, blood clots, and testosterone, because blood clots are on the rise, and not just because it's testosterone. We'll talk about it. No screaming on theme park rides in certain countries. We'll talk about what country it's in. Also, the Quarantine 15. Did you gain the weight? Did you not? What are you doing to get it off? Or are you just improving your physique because you were all good during the quarantine? Washington Redskins changing their name. What are some of these names, and what are some of the things that they're going to have to overcome to actually get that name and make sure it's right? Because there's a lot of things that are going to go into a name change for such a huge brand and team, right? There's a lot of hurdles, a lot of obstacles that maybe the regular person doesn't think of, but there's a couple of them, so we'll talk about it. Surgeon General comparing masks, by doctors telling you to wear masks or not to wear masks, to cocaine use, to heroin use. We'll go over that as well. Yes, these things are out there in the news right now. It's just crazy to read some of these things. And I'm not that type of person that goes off one article. I go for credibility. I go for mass and make sure that the source is good so you guys can look it up afterwards, because you guys might be curious about this story just as much as I was. Rhonda, how you doing? Thank you guys for all tuning in. Della, yes sir. Titan Talk every Tuesday. Thanks, Drew. So let's get into it. We got a great show, so let's start. So let's talk about the therapy of the week. The therapy of the week is Titan Ultra. This is definitely one of my favorites for a couple reasons. And let's talk about some of the benefits with the ingredients that you'll be getting in Titan Ultra. The first one is definitely one of my top favorites. It will definitely get people results. It will definitely help people's health in general. What is it? NADH. So you might have heard of NAD, but NADH is just another molecule added to it, right? So what is NADH good for? We call this the limitless drug here at Titan Medical Center, and there's a reason why. Because it focuses on brain cognitive enhancement. That's right. Being able to think better, clearer, more alertness, being able to focus on things a lot better. And people that are on, right, like Adderall and these ADHD or ADHD drugs are going to have problems, and they're going to have to take drugs like Adderall. Now, Adderall could be good for some uses, but for other uses, it's really not. And if you don't have this particular thing like ADHD, you aren't going to get such a good effect. You might get a speedy effect, a jittery effect, and a lot of people don't want those effects. So this helps out with that naturally. NADH or NAD is in every living cell in the body, and it helps with energy, natural energy. They also use this with Alzheimer's patients, dementia patients, right? It's going to help you guys focus in on things better. It's going to make you more alert. It's going to, it can help you out whether you're in school, your job, even in the gym, right? So that mind to muscle contraction, we always talk about that and connecting with the muscle. This will definitely help. It'll help you focus on your reps too. So that's just one part of this great blend. The next thing, taurine, also great for brain function, okay? And at that point, these two are going to work together very nicely. Now we add on B12, and you're talking about all types of different things from the nervous system, blood cell count. We're talking about energy levels there, and a number of other different benefits you're going to get. So adding these three together is definitely where it's at, okay? As far as helping you guys out with thinking better, being alert, being able to focus, cognitive enhancement. We talk about nootropics sometimes, and some of the different things are out there. This is one of my favorites, and it's proven, it's already in the body, and it works very well. So these three things together, along with taurine and B12, you're definitely going to get a great effect. You can take this in the morning. You should have, alertness right off the bat, be able to focus in more, and be able to concentrate. This is what it is. NADH, taurine, B12, Titan Ultra. What's the shelf life for Titan Ultra? Bought in November of 2019. It didn't open until a few months ago. So, with Titan Ultra or other medications or therapies, there's always a best use date, BUD, and that will be on the vial. And what happens with the BUD is when they go into testing, because all these therapies have to be tested, right? They have to be batch tested. They go for sterility, endotoxin, solubility, and this costs a lot of money. But what happens is when they send it off to the labs keep it there, and they go through the process of keeping it there for an amount of time. And what's usually on the amount of time is what the best use date, before it starts breaking down or degrading. That's what happens. So usually I think it's 60 to 90 days, Daniel. And that's because it was in the labs and it was tested for that long, and being able to go through that long without breaking down or degrading. Could it be better for a longer state of time or period of time? Yes, that could, but we can't stand behind that or guarantee something like that. I think you'll probably get a good effect. And, the truth about it is you can take 2 of these shots. It's not going to hurt you. There's nothing you're going to overdose for. You're not going to get a negative effect from this. So try 2 shots and see what's going on. What's going on, Jose Santiago? It's my family right there. I love that dude. And at that point, we might as well bring up, and it was on the show, but I'm going to say Iron Bay Classic, we're coming. September, right? Don't worry about it. We're going to have more of the flyer. We're going to post about it. I can't wait. But also, I'm helping Jose along with him getting ready. He hasn't got show ready in a while, so we're really dialing him in. He's doing really good. I'm really proud of him. So keep on that track, Jose. I appreciate it, brother. All right, so on to the next thing. So we talked about Titan Ultra. If you guys want to know more about Titan Ultra, right, or you want to know more about any of the other therapies that we offer nationwide service anywhere in the country, right? And this is for our vitamin amino acid injectable therapies like Titan Ultra or Hercules Potion or Titan Complete or Serenity, or these different things that we have. Also, hormone replacement therapy, blood work, and not just for hormones. It could be for a number of different things. You want to test the amino acids, you can test them and see if your supplementation, your food, or our therapies are doing their job. You can test for glutathione levels. You can test for food sensitivity to find out if you're sensitive to foods. That way, if you're on a nutrition plan that you've just started, or a diet, or whatever you want to call it, you can really see what these foods are going to do to you. Whether it's beef or poultry or white rice, all these different things you can test for. That's right. Also, don't forget your hormones, because hormones are going to be one of the pillars for quality of life, for the way that your body looks, the way that you feel, think, metabolism, and a number of different things. So it's very important to have those looked at and to optimize them. Not going super physiological on numbers, but to make sure everything is running at optimal, healthy levels and that you guys are performing at your best, looking and feeling at your best. That's what's important. All you guys got to do is call or text 727-389-3220. If you're in the area, we also IV nutrition offer that along with IV nutrients, and you guys can come in and get your blood work done or come in and get a single injection of a number of our different vitamin amino acids that we have here for our patients. So you guys can do that too as well. So that's just a benefit of us servicing you guys nationwide. Primary care, we can also help you out as far as that goes via telemedicine. All right, so the next thing, blood clots and testosterone. So I wanted to bring this up because I do get a question a lot of times from people asking, how much should I donate per year when I'm doing testosterone? And this also has to go with what's going on right now currently in our environment and situation, COVID-19. So we know along with COVID-19, you can get blood clots, and not just in the heart or lungs, but you can also get these in organs too. So it's really crazy how this is affecting it. But let's go back to the main reason we were talking about this. Blood clots and testosterone. So when you take any androgens, okay, like testosterone. It's an anabolic steroid. If you're like, I don't want to do steroid, well, that's what it is, and you already have it in your body. So educate yourself if you think that, right? So you really want to educate yourself and know what that is. So when we take androgens, this can increase red blood cell count, hemoglobin, and hematocrit. Specifically, we're talking about testosterone because a lot of people are on hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement therapy. And when they're on this, now everybody's different, but some people, it converts and it starts raising in their body, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, hematocrit. This can get dangerous for a number of different things. It can basically give you DVT, stroke, blood clots. At that point, you want to make sure that you're good to go there. Now, what can you do to prevent this? There's one thing that everybody should do, and this is testosterone or hormone replacement therapy maintenance. That's what I call it, maintenance. We maintenance our cars, right? We get oil changes so often in our car. We get our brakes changed. We get our tires rotated, balanced, maybe brand new tires put on. So at that point, we want to make sure we're maintaining our body too, and we're looking after everything so everything is working properly, just like a car. If your tire or rim was bent or off, your car's going to drive messed up, right? The alignment's off, tires are going to bald in certain places, and it's not going to drive right. It's not going to drive straight. So with the maintenance that I'm talking about, it's good to do donations at least 2 times a year as far as that goes. Now, what you want to do to really know, because listen, that could be every 6 months, and that could be 6 months too long. So what you really want to do is when you do your blood testing. So when you do blood testing with us, we automatically include this in your panels. And you want to at least check on red blood cell count, hemoglobin, and hematocrit. This is in the CBC. It's a complete blood cell count, okay? And that's the panel that looks over those 3 things and what you really want to look at. Now, you can look at those 3 things, and if it's high, right? If it's high, then at that point, you want to go dump. And if it gets extremely high, you definitely want to go dump faster or sooner than later, okay? Because this can cause all these things that I was talking about, specifically DVT, blood clots, and strokes. This can be terminal. It could kill you, or you'll have to go in the hospital and you're going to have to start going on blood thinners. And blood thinners are not fun, okay? They're not fun at all. If you take too much blood thinners, you can bleed out. If your blood gets too thick, it can become like sludge, and that's what causes those nasty health issues that you will be, burdened with at that point. You'll have to do something about it, and you'll have to live with it. And then at that point, when you do get one of those things, you're more inept to get it again. I talked to somebody who called me last weekend, and at that point he says, John, he says, I really need to talk to you. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? I'm always there for my people, whether they're patients or not. I want to try to help people, especially this could be life or death. So he calls me up, and I didn't know this was going to be life or death or not, but he calls me up and he says, listen, this is what's going on. I just left the hospital. I just had another blood clot. And he's already had one previous. So at that point, I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, all right, you're all right? You're good? He's like, yeah, they released me. They put me back on blood thinners, but here's my problem, my dilemma. I said, what's going on? He tells me, he says, listen, man, I don't want to get off the gear I'm on. He's not getting prescribed testosterone from us. He's doing it himself, okay, which I don't recommend either. But everybody has their own life to live, and they're going to make their own decisions. And I don't judge anybody. That's not in my book to judge. Everybody wants to make their own decisions and do what they want. It's their body, their health. They can do what they want. But he says, listen, I don't want to get off gear, right? And if you don't know what gear is, it's not like this gear. It's anabolic steroids or something else they're taking under the counter or black market. So he tells me, he says, I don't want to do it. I said, listen, man, I said, honestly, I said, you really need to go get looked at by a primary care physician and follow up and do some of these different things to monitor your health, make sure you're good. And, if it was me, I probably would stop what you're doing. And they're going to tell you the exact same to stop what you're doing. Because if you tell them, listen, might be the reason why I got this, or do you think this is the reason why I got this? They're going to definitely say 100% that's the reason you got it. Okay? Because some doctors are not educated. They don't know enough. Or, they think that, listen, you got this black market. They think steroids, that's why you got this problem. So, I told him, I said, listen, you might want to stop what you're doing. And I didn't even ask him what he was doing, and at that point he says, well, I just got all my muscle back. Dude, I empathize with you. I feel for you. But at that point, you might want to get off just for a while, right? And just make sure you're good. And at that point, do what you want afterwards. Just make sure. And the reason I told him this specifically is because he's not a single guy. He's got a wife. He's got kids. And they're going to need him, or they're not going to want him to see him in a dead. I told him nobody's going to want to see you in a hospital bed. And right now, your people can't even come in and see you in a hospital bed, whether you're dying of COVID or you're dying of a stroke or cancer or whatever it may be. So at that point, man, you're going to have to be alone. I wouldn't recommend doing that. So, hopefully he takes it and you guys take that for what it's worth. But make sure you guys are looking at hemoglobin, hematocrit, and red blood cell count, okay? And that's on a CBC blood panel. All right, so if you need to check that out, Titan Medical Center can do that single test for you guys, $25. We can run a full panel, you guys, $150. That's with the discount, and that runs everything from hormones, liver, kidneys, prostate for you guys out there, electrolytes. We're going to look at, your cholesterol, total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, LDL, the ratio. Also going to look at B12 levels, IGF-1 levels, insulin, growth factor 1. This is, a good reading for how your growth hormones produce are working in your body. Free and total testosterone, estradiol levels for you guys out there, E2, to specifically make sure you guys aren't getting man boobs or irritability, or you guys aren't becoming emotional, super emotional. If you guys are looking at frisky commercials or movies and you guys are crying or sapping up and you wouldn't usually do that, you might want to check these levels out. There might be some sort of things that are off and that you guys can fix very easily and get right back to it. All right, so let's go into the no screaming allowed on roller coasters. So this was another one that I seen. It's funny, man. I started cracking up about this because I'm like, is this true? And this is true. So in Japan, Tokyo, they've got, the Disney there, and the executives are there. And what the rule is there is they do not want you to scream on roller coasters or rides. And their direct quote was, "We want you to scream from or in your heart." Okay, that was a direct quote, right? And masks are optional there. Okay, they're not mandated in Tokyo or in Japan in general, which is kind of crazy. But so scream in your heart. Don't scream out loud. So this is crazy. So people are going to go on roller coasters. Now, I don't scream on roller coasters, but a lot of people do. And that's just a natural response, right? They're just going to scream. They might like the roller coaster, but they scream anyway. And, at that point, it was just real funny. I don't know how that's going to work. Wow. You're going to see silent roller coasters. You're just going to hear it going on the track. Usually you see that with testing. With a testing roller coaster, you see it running, no screaming. But now, you're not going to see any screaming. Or if you scream, you're going to be ejected.
Can you smile?
I think you can smile, but at that point, if you're wearing a mask, nobody's going to see you smile. So that's kind of crazy. I think you guys will get a laugh out of that. So no screaming on roller coasters. Now here in Orlando, when Disney just opened up, you can scream on roller coasters, but you are going to wear a mask in mandated places. So that's a big thing right now. Washington Redskins. So the Washington Redskins, okay, a lot of people say that's a racist name. I can see why. They got pressured. And they're going to change their name after the owner said he would not change his name. But after everything that's going on, people are a little bit more sensitive or more in tune or just they have a problem or issue with it. And he's going to change the names. And he got pressured by his big sponsors, FedEx, Nike, Amazon. Some of these big names said, listen, we're going to pull out if you don't change the name. And some of the other minority owners, we're going to pull out. So at that point, the main owner, he caved and he said, I'm going to change it. So they've had a number of different names that they were throwing up there, like, and they wanted changes to the Warriors, is what I seen. But the Red Wolves, Red Tails.
Yeah, the Red Tails especially.
There was a lot of different ones out there. And do we really need to keep red in there? I mean, if we're going to do a whole change, you're kind of still like, it's red. At that point, they're going to change the logo, which is good too. Obviously, Redskins are talking about Indians, American Indians. So at that point, that's our Native American Indians. I want to be politically correct in however I'm saying it. And I'm not Indian, so I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I do feel for them, obviously. So they're going to change it. It's good. Now, what are the hurdles to do this? Because it's real easy to say, listen, we're going to change our name. And that's it. Now you got to change logo. All your branding. Now, I'm not talking about Titan t-shirts. I'm talking about everything. From your programs, from shirts, all your merchandising, okay? So let's throw all the merchandise on the board. And that was another thing that pressured them too. Amazon stopped selling their merchandise. There was another big retailer that stopped selling. I think it was Walmart or whatever it was. Stopped selling it. But they're going to have to change all that brand. That's going to cost a lot of money. Now, what is the next thing or next hump that you really have to think about? The next thing is going to be they're going to have to copyright all their stuff again with the new name. They're also going to have to do trademarks. Now, this is where they're getting in the battle. They're getting a battle right now with the Warriors name for a trademark. So they might have to change it. And they're going to have to change it to something that nobody has trademarked in that category. So at that point, they're going to have to possibly fight, or they're going to have to pay somebody, or they might find something that's so original that they'll be able to do it themselves without having to do that. And that's the route you really want to go. If you ever want to create a business, and I've learned this, trust me, I've got multiple federal trademarks for Titan Medical Center, from clothing, from different categories, because there's categories. That's why you can see a Titan dump truck, right? Because I don't own a dump truck that category it's in, a class that's in, okay? But there's different classes that you can categorize and trademark your logo and your business underneath. And that's really where it comes into play, because somebody has it for t-shirts. You can't make the t-shirts without paying them that money, so they're going to have to pay somebody off or do what they're going to have to do. So it's kind of crazy. So we'll see. We're going to update you guys more on this. It's kind of crazy.
The red tails, they try to keep it like...
They try to keep it almost like the logo.
Yeah, you see?
I did. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, if we're going to change things, let's change it.
Yeah, why not?
Let's change it. Don't try to keep it the same, because it kind of just points back to, hey, listen, man, I understand, but it kind of looks like you guys are the same thing, right? And maybe they're going for that. Maybe they don't want to change, their brand completely, I guess, And I could kind of understand that if you had a brand for that long. You had this team this team has been like that. I don't even know how long. I got to look at the exact date. I don't want to be wrong on here. Somebody fry me on it. But it's been decades. That's a fact. So at that point, you've got this team. You've got all this, the colors, the logo. It's kind of hard. I would never want to change Titan like that. It'd be like me having to change Titan and totally something. Like Titan, I'm Greek. So, you're biased, or let's say I wasn't. You're biased to race against Greeks using Titan. Everybody's got to be big, right? That's not who we are. I don't know. I'm just still making that up. But you guys catch the drift, right? I wouldn't want to change my name. I don't think anybody else would either. It's not easy to do, especially your whole brand, dude. It's in the beginning. It's not that hard. And I had to go through that in the beginning. Originally, Titan Medical Center was going to be called Atlas Medical Group. And luckily, that didn't work out, and that wasn't in my cards. So we're Titan Medical Center because of that, and because Atlas was a Titan. So that's where I got it from, because I love Greek mythology, because I'm Greek. Love it. Got to get these stories read to me when I was a little kid by my yaya. It was awesome. All right, so Surgeon General, comparing mass to cocaine use or heroin use. Now let me explain, right? That's just what it was, because we only have so many characters we can put on this. So for that, it's true, right? So the topic. So Surgeon General. So the Surgeon General has been interviewed about mass. And, the hot question, and this is a pretty accurate question, and it should be definitely asked, is why are you telling us now to wear masks, right? I thought you said you don't need masks. You guys stop going out, and from his Twitter, going out and buying masks. Masks are ineffective. Masks aren't going to work. So why should we wear masks now? And listen, I'm wearing masks. And I've already had COVID-19, the whole nine. I have the antibodies. I've tested for that. But at that point, I'm going to wear it just, you know what? Everybody else, I got to lead by example for my crew, for my Titans out there, for my business. So, listen, that's what I'm going to do. Now, is it everybody's choice out there if they're going to wear a mask? Absolutely. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. But I'm not going to fight somebody about wearing a mask. If you want to wear it, great. Now, if you don't, you might be a little unselfish, because, listen, you might be asymptomatic like I was, and you might be spreading it. So, and I'm not saying that's the end-all, be-all of protection either. I'm not stupid, all right? But at that point, it's going to help a little bit. And a little bit helps a lot, better than none. That's all I can say about it. So what he said was this. He said that doctors used to recommend smoking to asthma patients, right? They used to recommend cocaine or heroin as therapies for patients because they didn't know any better. And now they know now. So that is why We obviously don't use cocaine or heroin for that. I mean, they use morphine in the hospitals and stuff like that. But you catch the drift. But now they've known more about COVID-19 and that masks are effective, with helping to slow down the spread of COVID-19 and are very, very important in these next couple of weeks to get over our rapid increase of positive tests for COVID-19. So at that point, listen, I do think they are effective to some certain level. Listen, if you sneeze, it's going to stop some of the droplets. If you cough, it's going to stop some of the droplets. Your micro spit that some people spit out when they're talking, you guys are all guilty of it out there. I don't care who you are. It's happened one time, maybe not many, but it's happened once. But this could stop that, right? So we want to do everything we possibly can to do that. And, like I said, I got over COVID-19. I'm not worried about COVID-19. I was asymptomatic. Charisse was not. Everybody is affected differently. And it's not just old people. We know for a fact now that young people are dying from this. 20s, 30s, 11-year-olds. Some of these people did not have underlying conditions because that's usually the rebuttal from people. Well, those people had underlying conditions. That's why. And that's not a fact. So we know that now. Now, listen, if you can get N95 respirator masks and stuff like that, I don't care if somebody looks at you stupid. If you haven't caught COVID-19, you probably want to wear one of those. It can get in droplets. It might get in your eyes. I know. You're like, John, I'm going to wear a face mask now. I mean, listen, I understand. But if I was in this point and I don't want to catch it, I would probably take every possible thing I could do to make sure, right? And that's just what it is. So, guys, please do your part out there. And try to wear the mask or try to wear a face covering. I know it's not fun. I know it might be against your constitutional rights because I hear that. I know it's not a law. It's mandated maybe by your county, your mayor, your governor. But listen, we need to lead by example. We need to at least slow the spread down. Even today, when I went to the gym today, I went to a gym to work out. I talked to somebody and everybody knows me around here. And they literally came up to me like, listen, John, everything all right with you and Charisse? I said, yeah, everything's all right. I kind of told him kind of what was going on. And he's like, man, I just don't believe in this thing. And I'm like, listen, man, if I was asymptomatic and went through this thing, I'd probably say, listen, it's probably not that bad. But seeing somebody that you love go through some of these different things that I have, I definitely believe it's real. I think it's a serious thing, whether it was made in a lab or however the hell it came from an animal, whatever, it's serious. And I think it's something to take serious. Now, listen, we've had viruses before. We're going to have more viruses in the future. We're going to have to prepare in some way, shape, or form. We might as well start getting ready now because I don't see the mask thing going away. And I've told Art this and Shreese this. People told me I was crazy months ago because I kept buying up all these masks. I'm like, dude, listen, I'm going to start getting some cool masks because I see this coming. And I don't got a crystal ball, but I can see trends coming, and I see this coming a long way, and I did then. And I see it coming for a long future ahead because we've got people out there fighting over this mask thing right now. And I think, honestly, we need to do our part and try to wear them as much as possible, right? So I do got a special guest. I didn't think she was going to join me, but hey, listen. We've got Charisse.
What's up, guys?
So, so we were just talking about COVID-19, the seriousness of COVID-19, that it is a real serious virus. It doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't mean if you're black, white, Chinese, all these West Indian, like anything out there, you guys can be affected. Now, they do say, right, that Hispanics and people of color is what they said in the article. Now, I don't know what that means. That can mean anybody, I guess, that has any sort of color is affected by COVID-19 in a lot worse way. So we don't know that. They're collecting all this data on these different things, and we will see.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to see a rheumatologist and getting an echo done. So now I got to get all these tests done, and I'm still like super swollen. I don't look like this on a normal basis, and still have fluid in my neck and my back that's affecting like my central nervous system. So today I was just trying to read something on one of the girls' computers, and I leaned in like that, and I asked her, I'm like, "Are you shaking the desk?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, I can't read that. Can you just read it for me? It's making me like nauseous." So it's like super real. I mean, it was real for me. It's real now.
It's real.
Yeah, so I hope that nobody else has to go through it. And anytime I ever see somebody write that it's like just another flu or whatever, listen, I've had the flu and I've had pneumonia. I still have pneumonia that I'm getting over. But It's not. This is like some weird alien like lab thing.
It's just really crazy how it affects people in different ways. Usually, when things come, they usually have the exact same symptoms across the board, and everybody gets affected the exact same way.
Right.
Even with Spanish flu, that's what happened. HIV, it happens the same way with people. Like it has a course, and that's where doctors usually get their course of action from. They know that a virus is going to do this, this, and this is what we're going to treat it with, or how to relieve symptoms. And this is just, it's gone to a whole different level, and that's kind of scary. The next part, and you guys are going to be involved with this, I'm going to do the testing myself, and I'm going to do the experiment to see how long antibodies will last in my body.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
We'll know, and I'm going to tell you guys straight up, because I tested positive for COVID-19, like weeks before, the antibody test, right when it came out. And this isn't one you like one of the rapid ones, that one of these phony tests. This is a blood test through LabCorp. So tested for antibodies, we did not have antibodies at all.
Yeah, we have that test. Remember?
Right?
Yeah.
At that point, I have all this documented. At that point, once we've tested positive now, and I've had these negative tests, I definitely went and did the antibody test here again. We just did it yesterday. Got the results back. I've got the antibodies.
Now we just have to figure out how to drain our blood, right? And then sell it to all of you.
Plasma. Who wants plasma? I got plasma for days and veins to draw from. But no, seriously. So we'll see, because there are doctors around the United States, because other countries have been reporting reinfections. And that's, some viruses, you only have immunity for so long. So we're going to see how long you have immunity from COVID-19 and how long those antibodies stick around. Now, the flip side to that, you might not have antibodies that detect after so long, but your immune system does have memory of that virus and can create those antibodies afterwards. So it's really a flip of the coin. Do we have immunity? Are we going to get herd immunity sometime in the near future? We don't know. And we will find out very shortly, because you guys and we are involved in this huge experiment. And I'm just calling it an experiment because we have no idea what's going to go on. I mean, nobody knows. And day by day, things just change rapidly.
Yeah, I guess I volunteered to be one of their lab rats.
Your whole world and my whole world has been flipped upside down in a number of different ways. And the way that we do things, from business, from medical treatments, and all these different things have changed. And we're going to have to get used to it. So that's really the end of my show. I appreciate you guys. We have one more thing. We have the poll question. We don't want to forget about the poll question.
All right, here we go.
All right, so the poll question is, do you take anything to help with focus, energy, or mental clarity? That was the poll question, right? 57% of people said yes. So 57%, that's more than half, said yes. 28% no. Okay, that's fine. Maybe they're running, they're good to go. They think that they're on top of their game. That's all right. And no, why should I was at 14%. Well, no, why should I? Listen, you should want to improve mental performance. All right, you want to improve cognitively every day with your brain. You want your brain to be at full power, at full thinking power, so you guys can make good decisions. You're making maybe good decisions at your job, your home, your family, the way you're driving, you're focused, mental clarity, no fogginess of the brain, being able to think clearly, and being able to do a better job all the way around, perform better, right? So that's that. Yes, with the 57%, what are you guys taking? I want to know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
I want to know. Because, listen, caffeine and stimulants can increase alertness too, and they can, of thinking. The only difference between Titan Ultra and like an ECA stack, because an ECA stack will make you focus too. It'll give you energy, it'll make you mental clarity, and you'll be alert. But the difference is this is natural, right? There is no crash. There is no if you stop taking, right? You're going to always feel that because it's going to be in your cells, and it's going to be transferred through your cells like that. It's awesome, right? We want a more natural way. Now listen, you can take Titan Ultra with an ECA stack, because Titan Ultra is not going to shred you up. It's not going to help you get lean, stuff like that. That's where ECA stack comes into play. But it does have the effect of mental alertness, and you'll get more mental clarity and focus too as well, without jitters or heart palpitations or a lot of these negative side effects they might get from energy drinks and so on. So that's the show, guys. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys are staying tuned to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out our YouTube page. Please go there and subscribe. All our shows are on there. A whole bunch of exclusive contents on there that you probably haven't seen. Instruction videos. How to do some of these different instruction videos. Some of the therapy breakdowns, like of Titan Complete or Hercules Potion, if you don't know what those are or what's in them. Titan Ultra is also on there, so you go check out the videos on those too as well. Please press subscribe. Hit the bell for all notifications as well, so you guys get the latest, the greatest, up-to-date news from Titan Medical Center. Don't forget the website, www.titanmedicalcenter.com. Guys, make sure you guys are signed up for our newsletter, and that's where the poll comes from, so you guys can answer the poll question. It's real simple to do. From your cell phone, you text the number 22828, 22828, that's the number, and you text Titan Medical. You'll automatically be included in the newsletter. You'll get it every week. Discounts, therapy of the week, upcoming events, and a lot of cool content coming from Titan Medical Center. All right?
You got a good question there, John, by the way.
What is the question? Can you use your products via mail? Yes. So if you want to see our medical provider and you're not in the state of Florida or cannot make it here because of COVID-19, maybe you're in isolation. Who knows? You guys can call or text us, 727-389-3220. We can set it up via FaceTime, Skype, a video conference that's recorded, and then the medications will come directly to your doorstep from the pharmacy. Not from us, from the pharmacy, okay? So at that point, you guys will get your medications. We are here for you guys 24/7. Phone, call, text, email. We got your back. All right, guys? So it's been another great Titan Talk Tuesday. I appreciate it. I'll see you Friday with Big Drew at 2 p.m. And Sunday, don't forget, Titan Medical Health and Lifestyle Show. Rocking it. You guys are going to love that because it's all exclusive content every week for you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much. It's been a great Titan Talk Tuesday. I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.